Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Al Jones. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Arlington. I'm here today to provide our community with an update on the recent aggravated robbery incident that resulted in two officers exchanging gunfire with a suspect. We'll be releasing relevant portions of body-worn camera, dashboard camera, and surveillance footage of the incident. I'm incredibly grateful that no officers were hurt during this call for service. As you will soon see, they came under fire very quickly, and they responded very well. On Friday, January 10th, approximately 6:46 p.m., officers were dispatched to a title loan business at the 600 block of West Pioneer Parkway. A member of the public passing by the area called 911 and reported seeing two individuals who were possibly armed entering the business. Surveillance cameras inside the business captured a man who was identified as 37-year-old Kelvin Bevins, entered through the front door, pointed a handgun at four employees working inside, instructed them to get on the ground. A second suspect, who was later identified as 38-year-old Kevin Lewis, walked into the business behind him. The two men appeared to be rummaging through the drawers in employees' purses before instructing the employees to move to the back room. Once in the back room, they bound the employees, their arms and legs with tape, and you will be able to view portions of the surveillance footage. This video does not have audio. While this was going on, officers arrived on the scene and began to set up a perimeter around the store. Officers who were covering the back of the business initially knocked on the back door and announced themselves as police. Then they took cover behind their patrol vehicle and attempt a call out. Not long after, Mr. Lewis exited the building and immediately took off running on foot. Moments later, Mr. Bevan stuck his arm out from behind the door, holding a gun, and began firing. You're about to review relevant portions of dash camera, body-worn camera, and showing the encounter. For those of you that are live streaming, I want to warn your audience, viewers, of discretion is advised.
The audio on the dashboard camera is a little hard to hear, but when we go to the body camera, you'll hear it more clearly.
Recording.
Please, come
Enter
out.
call number L25010PO390.
Please, come out. This door here. Door here, we had a hand come out. This one right here. I knocked on it, said, please come on out. I haven't seen anyone come out. Yeah. You got a working PA on that? Yeah. Yeah, tell your sirens, we can't hear our radio.
Get cover behind your hood. I'm going to get cover behind this car. We need people on the east side.
Once Mr. Bevan began firing, two officers fired their service weapon multiple times in his direction. Mr. Bevan retreated back into the business and then attempted to exit the front door. Officers posted on the front side of the building was able to take him into custody without incident. We are now going to play the body-worn camera video showing the arrest.
Turn your stomach. Roll over your stomach.
Neither Mr. Bevan or Mr. Lewis were injured during the incident. Shortly after shots were fired, the employees were able to get to the back door where officers saw them and safely remove them from the business. Although shaken, they were not injured. Investigators recovered Mr. Bevan's weapon at the scene. Through ballistic testing, we were able to match the gun to multiple spent casings that were found near the back door. Mr. Bevans was charged with 1 count aggravated robbery, 1 count aggravated assault against a public servant. We also learned he had an active felony warrant out of Shreveport, Louisiana, and so he was booked on that as well. He is currently held at the Tarrant-County Jail. After conducting follow-up investigation and reviewing evidence left at the scene, detectives were able to identify Mr. Lewis as a second suspect. They obtained a warrant for his arrest on 1 count aggravated robbery. This morning, members of the United States Marshals North Texas Fugitive Task Force located him in Arlington and took him into custody without incident. Both criminal and administrative investigations of this incident is ongoing. Per department policy, the 2 officers were placed on administrative leave following the incident, but both have since been returned to their normal shift. We are not releasing their names, but I can tell you one has been with the department for 3 years and the other one has been for 2 years. With that, I'll open it up for questions.
Chief, after witnessing that and watching your officers, just talk about, it seemed very textbook in what they were doing and just the training behind that, especially in a situation that could have gone bad.
Yeah, so, I just want to first start out saying my officers, they did a fantastic job in their response. We train for situations like this, and I can tell you that through our training academy, these men and women get the best training. And they put that training to use that day. Luckily, no one was hurt, and we resolved this incident without injuries.
Talk about the person who was observant and the fact that they were on the street and saw the 2 individuals going inside with the weapon.
Yeah, we have a great community. Our community loves us. They're supportive of us, and that just shows when you have people of your community, the eyes and ears, willing to give us a call. That's how we keep in Arlington safe, by being police and community policing and making sure that we're partnering up with our community. So I just want to thank that individual for making that call, because they saved some lives that night. Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk about, so he actually got away and what went on to lead to his successful?
So that evening, obviously, you saw through the video footage or surveillance, he ran out the back door, westbound. He got away that night. We at the scene, we believe that they came in a vehicle. We located that vehicle at the location. Through searching and doing a search warrant on the vehicle, we were able to identify him. He left some personal items in the car. Through the personal items, we were able to determine that he was associated with Mr. Bevins. From there, our men and women went and located him, and obviously we located him this morning.
With the 7 officers, here now about the 7 officers in San Antonio that were injured over the night, you talk about how lucky these 2 officers were that they weren't struck at that point?
Sure. First, I just want to say my heart goes out to San Antonio and their community and the officers and their families. That is a tragic situation. Given the situation here, we could have been in that same boat. But like I said, we were just fortunate that night, and our men and women actually reverted back to the training that they learned in the academy and throughout the years of service here in the department.
Do you all have a history with these 2 gentlemen?
So no, we don't have a history with either Mr. Lewis or Mr. Bevins. But what I can tell you, and I said it and I alluded to it earlier, Mr. Bevins did have a warrant for felony assault out of Shreveport, Louisiana. So he's not a stranger to the criminal justice system.
And this was 6:40 in the evening, they were about to close, perhaps?
Yes, it was 6:40 p.m. When the incident occurred.
Is this a business known to have cash?
Not that to my knowledge, no. I think it's a loan business. It was, to me, I think it was just a crime opportunity. And unfortunately, they went into that location.
Can you talk about the employees? Did they bound them up with tape inside the business, or did they bring their own? Just curious.
From what we gathered, the 2 suspects brought their own tape into the location with them, and they bound their legs and arms of the employees in the back room.
Just talk about that. That's very methodical, and to think about that prior.
So, as I said before, they're no stranger, at least Mr. Bevins is no stranger to the criminal justice system. They have a history of, violent acts like this. So this was planned. But as I said before, I don't think that this was, I think it was a random act of violence. I don't think this business was targeted at all. There is no relationship to the suspects in the business or the employees. I think it was just a business opportunity.
And then in regards to the amount of rounds that Mr. Bevins fired off, so when he put the gun out, that's when he popped off the first one. How many was it total?
That I don't know right now. I can't really get too far into that. It's still being investigated by my team. But I can say this. He did fire several rounds at the officers, and that's what transpired of them returning fire to him.
Anything else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.